welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading. What that is every week you, the viewer, get to choose from one of three tarot or oracle decks. With that deck, I will go through and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for the next 7 days. It does not need to be the week of the 26th through October 4th. Oh my gosh, we're already coming up on October. In order for the energy to resonate, it could be at any time when you come across this video. If you are drawn to it, there may be some information contained. I like to think of card reading like dream interpretation. It's definitely just for entertainment purposes only. And what we do is we just kind of go with the good energy of what we see in the cards. And the images really just speak to you the same way that your subconscious speaks to you, right? You look at the images and discern what you think they mean. So in that same vein, there's a saying in card reading. We say, take what resonates and leave the rest. So if you feel like the message is not resonating, by all means, you can choose either a different deck or maybe even a different reading if there's another week or another specialty video. I do also post what I call a How to Tarot, which is where you learn about the tarot, and we also do readings based on that card. But again, it's all in good fun, and if you feel like something's not resonating, please, just take what little nuggets of information resonate with you and then leave the rest. Now today we're gonna go ahead and have some fun. If you caught my How to Tarot for the Two of Swords, I had a little bit of a technology mishap. My microphone cut off in the middle of my reading, and that was my own fault. It was not the equipment's fault. So I have thoroughly charged my microphone, and I am watching it to make sure that the light is on. And this video is going to be shorter than a How to Tarot anyway, so we should be good. No worries this week. But I'm also going to pull out 3 decks we have not seen in a while. The first deck that we see is going to be the White Sage Tarot, and with it we have a beautiful Shiva shell. The second is the Tattoo Tarot, Inked in Intuition, and with it we have a beautiful volcano quartz, red volcano quartz. And the third deck is the Witch's Tarot, which I love this deck. It's such a good little deck, and with it we have a beautiful agate cat. And I just think that is so appropriate. It's funny, in the last week I've really been cuddling with my cat. She's been very, she's wanted a lot of attention, so, I just kind of think of that. And this is the only sleeping cat stone I've ever seen. I was very lucky. I kind of snatched it up when I saw it online, so I think it has a lot of good energy. Now, I'm going to clarify the reads with the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. I was really drawn to use that deck, and I've noticed that anytime I go with my gut instinct, anytime I say, okay, I'm gravitating towards that deck, so I think it'll give us a lot of good messages. I really do consider what decks that we use, and anytime I'm like, ooh, let's use this, I'm feeling a good vibe from it, it never fails. It turns out to be a good read. So, but enough blabbing. I will go ahead and let you choose your deck. If I always say, please choose from your intuition. If you like the art, if you like the stone, if you're drawn to the timestamp or the numerology, whatever is pulling you towards that deck. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back, and we've got power. We're good. All right. I'm going to be paranoid about that the whole read. But I'm also really excited because next week is a lot of milestones as well, so we'll get into that as we go. But deck number 1, the White Sage Tarot, with the Shiva shell, and the artwork in this deck is very it has a lot of a seashore kind of images. It's got animals in it as well. Let's go ahead and see deck number 1. What is your energy for the week? You saw that was very clear. And here you see that there are there's a card kind of poking out there. We're going to go with that. And then end of the week, please. Okay, and here we have another poking out card, so we're going to go with that. And underneath the Nine of Wands, the Six of Wands was really popping out, but let me go ahead and clarify that real quick. So clarification for the Nine of Wands, please. Okay, we're going to go with this one. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get your Oracle card. Whoa. Wow. That was amazing, guys. That flipped and it tapped and it was just one card. So I think that's your card. And again, I was drawn to use this deck. So let's go with it. All right. Wow. Now, one other beautiful thing about this deck, just to throw it out there, is that in each of the images, there's colors in the background. Sometimes the colors are ribbons. Sometimes it's a background theme. But the colors pertain to the colors of chakra. And I'm not entirely strong with chakra. I understand it. I understand the premise of it. I wish I were more religious. Like I don't do yoga or anything like that. I wish I had the patience for it. But I do understand the points in the body and what the basic meaning of it. And I just kind of integrate that into the read. So if you bear with me, I'm not an expert with the chakra, but I go ahead and make that a part of your reading. But beginning of the week, you got the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords, what you see here is you see a ribbon that is orange colored, and you see one sword that is kind of piercing. It almost looks like it's piercing. If you've ever pinned fabric, I don't know, maybe because I sew, I think of that. If you've ever pinned fabric, it's almost like... the Four of Swords is definitely like the kind of mental time out card. It's about taking a break. It's about taking a mental break. And what you see here is taking the art into consideration. You see three swords that are kind of opposite one another, right? Like, for instance, if these swords traveled, they would pass one another, right? And you know what that makes me think is it is almost like pinning fabric. It's like you're pinning things in place. You know what? Honestly, guys, this is interesting. The image that comes to mind is I feel like you're making plans, but you're not ready to take action for those plans. So you know how when you pin fabric, you pin fabric together when you're about to sew it, right? When you're about to make things permanent, right? And don't you check and double check, if you've ever sewn anything, you kind of make sure everything lines up, you make sure everything's straight, you make sure the hem is the right measurement. And with these swords, it's again, I get the sense that the swords, if the swords were moving, if the swords were moving like a needle, they would pass one another, right? They would pass one another. It's not like they're conflicting. So I really get the sense at the beginning of the week, it's almost like you're kind of in a mental reprieve, but and it's interesting. It is. I always kind of think of yoga when I think of the Four of Swords, because it's kind of like a laying down card. It's kind of like a meditation card. It's definitely about it's about being in your higher mind without you having all the cacophony of thought, right? So that's definitely the energy that's really amazing. I'm getting a lot from this card, because the orange, we'll get to the orange in a minute, but it's almost like in your thoughts, you're kind of like, when you meditate, you kind of let the thoughts come, and you watch the thoughts come and you watch the thoughts go, right? You're getting into your body, and you're feeling the thoughts come and go, but you're not really, I get the sense like at the beginning of the week, you're not taking any action. It's almost like you're leaning back, but you're meditating on taking action. It's almost like in your own mind, you're kind of pinning the fabric together, and you know where you want to sew, right? It's almost like you know where in your life you want to make things permanent or mend. It could possibly be mending something, but it's almost like you're letting the thought pass you. you're letting the thought come by you and then move past, but in the background, there's a lot of thoughts that are coming and going, but in the background you kind of have one permanent kind of goal, one permanent kind of thought that's pinning everything together. So you know what that kind of tells me is I have a feeling that you have some kind of, at the beginning of the week, you're going to be thinking about some kind of major goal. You might not be taking any action for it yet. And then the other thing is with the orange ribbon, because you see how this sword is pinning. It's like folding over the orange ribbon, right? It's pinning it down. It's pinning it in place. The sacral, the orange chakra is the sacral chakra. It's kind of like the lower stomach. And is that right? Yeah. You got root, sacral, solar plexus, heart. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sacral. And the sacral is really about your wants. It's a lot about desires. Um, And what I'm kind of thinking is, what I'm getting is that you're going to be really meditating on what you want, like what your core desires are. And honestly, the sacral can be a little bit more of a sexual card. So it could be you thinking about your wants, like your wants in life. But or it could be your wants. It can be wants in a sense of maybe you want more money, maybe you want a better paying job, maybe you want a house or a car. Whatever it is that you want, you're pinning that down. You're saying, okay, the main focus of my thought is this. And then all the other thoughts are kind of passing by. And it's almost like you're meditating on what you really need and what you really want in life. You're not taking any action. The other thing that I'm getting is that with that one sword being kind of the pinning down of it, I kind of read that one of two ways. You're either letting all of the other mental thoughts kind of pass you by, kind of float by until you get your wants in place, until you get your desires pinned down. So that's one way I read it. The other way is that you could have one want or desire that is your main priority, and that's what your mind is really focusing on. And then everything else is just kind of other things that are floating around your mind. And you're not taking any action on any of it yet. Again, it's almost like you're pinning the one thing that you're pinning in place, and you plan on sewing it, right? You're making sure that it's almost like you're making sure everything's lined up the way that it's supposed to be, so you can sew it. But you're not warming up the sewing machine yet. You kind of got it pinned in your mind, and then everything else are just secondary or other thoughts. But you're meditating and you're taking kind of a mental break. But I definitely get a sense that there is at least one major priority that would give you what you want, what you really, really want. And now I'm thinking of the Spice Girls. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean for that to come out. To tell me what you want, what you really, really want. You know what you want. There's one major want that you know. And then everything else is priorities, but you're kind of thinking about all of it, but there's definitely one thing that you have to pin down and get in place first. The last interpretation is maybe you're thinking, or you're taking a mental break to discern how you can pin down the one most important priority, and that's your main focus, but everything is kind of, no action is being taken. You're just thinking about your progression on how you're gonna knock out those thoughts, knock out those mental priorities. Now the middle of the week, you got the Nine of Wands, and what was interesting is that the Six of Wands was trying to pop out underneath it, and later when I double backed and clarified it, you got the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Wands is really interesting. The Knight of Wands, in this deck, it's pretty natural. So what it is it sticks, but they're branches of the type of tree of a pussy willow. And wrapped around the one branch is a pink ribbon, or it's the red ribbon. It's the root chakra, right? And that is base desires. While the sacral chakra is your wants and your kind of sexual needs or your wants and desires. The root chakra is really kind of like your needs. And these two are really playing into each other, guys. I really get the feeling like you might be and with the root of it being the Knight of Cups, and behind him is a lot of green, which is the heart chakra. And I love the cups in this deck because they're coffee cups, and it's so freaking cute. Um, I really get the sense that then in the middle of the week, the Nine of Wands is that it's fighting a long battle card. It's like being weary, it's being worn out, but you're not going to give up, right? You're going to keep going. You're going to do what you got to do, right? And that energy is coming through your root chakra, which is your base needs, while the sacral is what you want, like you want the house, you want the car, you know. The root is, well, you need shelter now. You know, it might not be a mansion, but it's a roof. You know, you may want the fancy car, which is the desire, but you need a car that runs so you can get to work. It's like the base root desires, like you need food, water, a roof over your head, an income. So it's almost like beginning of the week, you're planning or thinking, or you're taking a mental break to get to think about your desires, but your middle of the week, you're really fighting to just keep the base needs in place. Now, I do kind of see this sometimes, like maybe if you are on like an off pay week and it's those last few days before you get paid, maybe it's the eating SpaghettiOs kind of time. So that's where you feel like, gosh, I'm just, if I eat one more peanut butter and jelly, I'm just going to freaking lose it. The other thing that I kind of read is that maybe this is really tying into your desires, because this chakra, the beginning of the week, is one step up from this one. It's almost like you're kind of lagging behind and you're feeling battle worn, right? And the root of it, I always think this is the energy's expression, but this is the root, the reason behind it. And the reason behind it is the Knight of Cups. So what I'm kind of sensing, guys, is, and the fact that it's a little coffee cup, this guy is so cute. I do get a little bit of a relationship vibe here, guys. I get this feeling like maybe there's someone that you want to ask out for coffee, but and that's like one of your major desires, but it's almost like you're preoccupied, or you see how it seems like the one wand is blocking all the others. It's almost, I keep hearing run interference, like something is interfering, and that thing that's interfering is your base needs. So it's almost like, yes, I want to ask, maybe there's someone that you've had your eye on that you really want to take out for coffee, but it's just really, maybe you've been real financially strapped, maybe you got other things going on in your life, maybe there's family stuff or work stuff that's running interference. And you just feel like, what I'm kind of hearing, and this sounds crazy. You know how, if you've ever seen the movie or read the book, the fairy tale of Cinderella, you know how the night of the ball, she wants to go to the ball, she wants to go meet the prince, right? But her stepmother, her stepsisters give her all this work to do, right? That's kind of what I'm getting. I'm kind of getting like, all I want to do is hop on my horse and go have coffee, right? But gosh, it looks like bars, right? It looks like you're being barred from doing that. And, the fact that the cups kind of mean, the cups is, the knight is the journeyer. He's the one who offers his cup, right? He's a go-getter. And he's very romantic too. There's two cards in the tarot that are notorious for being the Mr. Lova Lova, and the Knight of Cups is one of them. But the fact that the root of this energy is that, let me hop on my horse and come up to you with a cup of love, is being blocked by a lot. It's almost like you have too many irons in the fire a little bit, right? But I do get a sense that you're trying to get to your desires. You're trying to get to the things that you really want. But it's almost like you're getting bogged down with the chores or the duties of your needs. You have to get your needs first met. The needs always have to come first. You have to pay the bills before you start getting into they always say, I keep hearing needs versus wants, right? You're getting bogged down by needs, and needs are a priority. They have to come before wants. So the wants, the desires are in the mental realm, and you can't act on them. But it's almost like you're mentally pinning. You're mentally getting in order. You're lining up what you want to put into place as soon as you're able. But again, I'm kind of getting that Cinderella. I keep seeing? I keep seeing when the sisters keep throwing clothes on her, right? She's just trying to get her dress done, and they keep throwing all their clothes on her, and it's like burying her. But the Knight of Cups being the root of this energy, one other way that I can kind of read this, and just to keep it real, so the one interpretation is that you could, just want some free time to go out on a date. Maybe that's it. Maybe you've been working too much, and work and home and paying bills and other obligations have just interfered, run interference, blocked you, that you can't, the other thing I'm getting is it's kind of zapped all your energy too, because knights are young adult energy, and the wands is like not having any energy at all. The other way that I can just read it, just to throw it out there, is it's the Knight of Cups being a little bit more of Mr. Love a man, Mr. Love a woman too. You could be a man or a woman in the Knight energy. It's quite possible that maybe you've been dating around a lot. Maybe you have been, meeting people, and what it is now you have more irons in the fire with that. Like, and this can also, doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. With the sacral chakra, it kind of does indicate more sexual, or opposite sex. But what I'm kind of getting is you could be busy with family. You could be, because that cup of love is not, exclusive to your honey, your boo, right? Your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, spouse. It can be your children. It can be your mother. It can be your cousins. It can be anyone that you love. Maybe you've started spending more time with people, and you're trying to make priorities for people. But it's almost like you've got, because wands are action too. So now you've got nine actions. It's again too much. But I am definitely getting a base need. The other thing I kind of get from that is, if this is in a romantic sense, maybe you did start dating several people at once to get your base needs met. Maybe you like, again, maybe you like dating. It feels good to you. But then all of a sudden you're getting text messages from 5 different people at any time. It's becoming too much, right? It's taxing your energy. Even though, the other thing that I'm kind of getting here is that I feel like you're doing a lot of work. It's like you have all this emotional love to give, but it's almost like not getting an expression. Like I'm getting a sense of lack or exhaustion. Like, you have all this energy under the surface, but you're still not even getting your base needs met. So it's like, what is all that work for if it's not even meeting, food, water, sustenance? It's not sustaining you, right? Now, the future, the end of your week is actually quite good. It's really nice. You got the King of Pentacles, and that's a really beautiful card. I could see this a little bit work related. Maybe you have been kind of tied up with work. End of the week, this is really great because King of Pentacles, we had a tarot on him not too long ago. Feel free to check out that video if you get a chance. End of the week, you're really going to be in a strong energy. You're going to feel really stable. The other thing is that I am getting kind of a payday thing here, guys. I am kind of getting a sense that maybe you get paid on Friday, and again, it feels really good. Again, maybe you've been working real hard to sustain your needs, to take care of bills, maybe even take care of other people. That's possible. And by the end of the week, you really feel like the king, right? You feel like I kind of read this one of two ways. Either you're spending the weekend with a real King of Pentacles character, like maybe in the middle of the week maybe in the middle of the week you are talking to several people, but by the weekend you are dedicating your time to one person, and that person is the King of Pentacles. He's a very solid person, very practical, very reliable, very steady. He's a very calming influence. The other thing that I kind of get from this is that this could very well be a dad or a father figure. So, with the Knight of Cups, maybe you've been kind of spinning your wheels. You've been trying to, in the beginning of the week, you're trying to take it easy. You're trying to pace yourself. Middle of the week, it's almost like you're overexerting yourself, and you've got a lot of mental, emotional energy behind that. And then by the end of the week, maybe you do talk to some kind of mentor or father figure who's really reliable, someone who's steady, someone who makes you feel really grounded, right? So this could be a grandfather. I'm getting more of a father or uncle kind of figure that you can lean on or talk to. But alternatively, you can be a woman or a man in this energy. By the end of the week, you're feeling really steady. The other thing is that you feel like this energy at the beginning of the week. The other thing I'm getting is that it's almost like what was mental in the beginning of the week is becoming real at the end of the week, because the King of Pentacles is about the physical. That pentacle is a real world thing. It's something that you value. So the other thing that I can think of is that maybe beginning of the week you have some kind of plan, but it's almost like you're prepping yourself by meditating. You're getting geared up mentally. You know what you want to do, but it's almost like you're not letting yourself get too excited yet until you take action. It's just passing thoughts. Middle of the week, I do get this sense like it's almost like maybe you're getting a little jazzed. You're ready to maybe, get ready for something, but you might be kind of busy. The other thing is that you might have other obstacles that are running interference and making you feel like you're low energy. Like how am I going to get to this? How am I going to have the energy to do this? I've got so much on my plate. But by the end of the week, you definitely got the King of Pentacles going. And look at that. That's such a beautiful card. So if this is related to relationships, I do think that you'll be making something real. Whatever thoughts or whatever wants you had at the beginning of the week, the other thing that we talked about in the King of Pentacles, How to Tarot, was that's Mr. GQ. That is really, and again, you could be a woman in that energy. It's almost like you're executing your plan. You're executing your plan and you're doing it like this king with the crown. You see how symmetrical everything is there. You're so again, this could either be a person, a King of Pentacles person that you're going out with, or relying on. So it could be a father or grandfather, or if this is your energy, you're even though the middle energy, you were kind of chomping at the bit and feeling a little worn out because of it. You were real, revving to go, but had a lot to do. You're still going to get, by the end of the week, you're going to be making whatever thoughts or plans or actions that you had, I am getting a real Cinderella story here, guys, just because beginning of the week, it's almost like it's all thoughts. Well, I want to go to the ball. And then, middle of the week, it's like, oh, I want to go to the ball, but I've got all these chores to do. And then by the end of the week, it's like, she's got the gown. And sorry if you're a guy watching this and I'm making it totally girly for you. I don't mean to do that, but it's almost like you walk in the room and it's like you didn't struggle at all, right? You didn't struggle at all. You walk in the room and you got this, right? All of your plans you're going to make tangible, you're going to make real. And your card, which totally flipped out, remember this was the card that flipped out and tapped, and this is your card. Unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. I really love this card. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck, guys. And the other thing is we've got quite a few birds in this picture, so sometimes that can mean communication. But the other thing that I'm kind of getting is you see the orange, there's a little touch of orange around his face. And you see the orange there. Maybe if you, and oh, and look at how much pink is in this color. Pink and purple, guys. You see the purple on the elephant's crown? Um, I do think that maybe you have been feeling a little lost, like you're not sure what to do, because there is definitely the middle of week energy is a little conflicting. You know, it's like having a lot of love in your heart, a lot of energy, wanting to go, wanting to go. The other thing is kind of being on a mission, right? Going on a journey with the night. And I do think that you might have moments where you're like, okay, is this right? You know, this feels a little burdensome. You know, is this supposed to be where I'm supposed to be? And what it's telling you is yes. Yeah, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And I know just for a weekly energy, but I would just say that if you are having moments of feeling like on a path, like on a new path, you know, feeling a little anxious, I would say, you know how it is. I always, you know what I like to do when anytime I'm in a new place and I'm starting to feel like, well, this is, you know, anytime I'm feeling uncomfortable, because anything new is uncomfortable. Um, one saying that I like to remember is, um, when will you ever be here again? Right? So maybe, you know, like you hear people who I remember when my mom was moving, there was a goof and there was a delay where she couldn't move directly into her new house and she had to be kind of in an intermediary housing unit. And you could gripe and complain and say, "Oh, this sucks. Why are we here?" Or you could look around and say, "This is kind of neat, you know? I'm not going to be here for very long. This is just a temporary arrangement. Why not enjoy it while you're there, right? Live in the excitement of doing something new." Because think about it, how often do you get to explore new territory, right? Kind of make it, you know, that's an exciting thing. It might feel a little unsettling, it might feel a little uncomfortable, but maybe that's half of this energy too, is maybe you're just feeling a little overwhelmed, but it does still feel really good to you emotionally. But I do see that as being a wonderful week, guys. And definitely with the weekend being the King of Pentacles, I feel like you're just going to feel real solid. It's almost like you're going to feel like the king, right? You're going to feel like the king. And I see a lot of this mental energy be manifesting into something real. So, wow, guys, that's a really great week. That's a fantastic week. I love these cards. So we'll go ahead and we'll put your stone on top. Let's move on to the Tattoo Tarot. We have not seen this deck in a while, guys. And the Volcano Quartz, the red quartz. So let's go ahead. It's a cherry volcano quartz. Ooh, and I'm opening up to the star. That's a good omen. I think everyone's going to have a good week. Oh, by the way, I'm going to save it for the announcements at the end, but this next week is actually a wonderful week because it's not only the anniversary of my channel, so October 1st. It's the anniversary of my channel, and the weekend is going to be special. It's going to technically be next week's weekly energy card reading, but birthday coming up, so might be me. Okay, so let's see here. Deck number 2. What's your energy like for the week? Beginning of the week. Ooh. Oh, wow. That flipped right out. Middle of the week, please. Middle of the week. What's our energy? Okay. Wow, we're just... Holy Toledo. End of the week, please. Wow. I'm going to go ahead. These two were kind of coming out together, so I'm going to keep them together. Wow, you got a lot of fire in this chart, guys. Maybe you were drawn to the red. There's a lot of red, and honestly, tattoos are more of a fire thing, you know. Not the stereotype. I know plenty of water folks who get the ink, but all right. So what's your whoa? Holy Toledo! Wow, that's really cool. Oh my goodness. This is energy central, guys. You got a really exciting week. Wow. Holy Toledo. Okay, so beginning of the week, you got the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. And this is honestly a really, if I can say so, a really badass, this whole deck. The pages don't look like pages. They look like some really like biker guys in this deck. He's got like a tattoo. But what I love is that there's a little tattoo of a letter on his hand and a rose on his neck. But the page, the beginning of the week, you're gonna be in a real almost childlike energy. I think you're gonna be a kind of, I'm getting a real, this whole week, your whole energy for the week, I'm getting a real a juiced kind of vibe. I keep hearing juiced, like jumped, like energetic. And I'm not really getting a sense that this is because of any type of idea that you have. I really just get a sense that you're just in a real energetic kind of mood. And maybe something's going on this week. Maybe you're on vacation. Maybe, or, maybe you've got some kind of project going on at home or at work. Maybe this could potentially be a child. Maybe you have some kind of event going on with a child. The other thing that I can kind of think of is that potentially, I know most of North America, we're still in, social distancing mode, but maybe you have some kind of event for a child that, you know, it could be going outside, it could be going to the park, but maybe you do have, and you don't have to. When I speak of children, the children do not have to be a sun sign, fire sign. Like they don't have to be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I can definitely see an expression of that. Just that maybe you have someone around you that's being real energetic, right? You might have a little one, a child who is running around or letting off steam at the beginning of the week. But if it's your energy, you can be a man or a woman in this. I just really get a strong sense. What I'm kind of getting is I'm getting a mutable fire sense where you're gonna be communicating, but it's almost like I know this sounds crazy. You guys are going to kill me for these are such serious cards, and I keep giving you. I'm not trying to give you girly analogies here, but the Page of Wands really is kind of a Sagittarian energy, just because the mutable signs like Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, they're the communicators. I always say, like, if you've ever watched a Christmas Carol, when the night after the ghosts visit him, Ebenezer Scrooge has turned over a new leaf, and he opens up the window and he yells down to the boy on the corner and says, "Go get a goose, the biggest goose you've ever seen. I'll pay you a whole shilling, whatever." And the kid runs and he gets the goose and he comes right back. That's the energy of a page. A page is very direct, and they express it in their element. So a page who's in the fire element, I kind of think of Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, not to do that, but they're bouncy. They're bouncy like that. The other thing is they're kind of blunt because it's almost a little bit more of a speak before you think, act before you think kind of energy. And when it's a communication, it kind of comes out in those really blunt spurts. One other example, and I'm sorry not to give a million pop culture references, but one example that really plays into fire is that if you've ever seen the movie, the Kevin Costner version of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, it's pretty old by today's standards. There's a little kid in that. He's the son of Little John, and his name is Bull, I think. Or it's his son, and his son climbs trees and he's always hunting deer, and there's a confidence about him. He's a little bit cocky, and it's funny. The first time the son meets Robin, he hops down out of the tree, and Robin looks at him and goes, "Boy, did you kill that deer?" And that the boy just kind of looks at him with a smirk and goes, "Millions of them," and then he runs off. That is the Page of Wands energy. I'm getting just talking about it. That's the energy. The beginning of the week, it's going to be, I have a feeling that you're going to be a little bit blunt, but I think people are going to be forgiving to you for that. It's almost like, it's almost like you're energized and you're almost kind of bumbling with your words, or a few things that you say might be a little bit brusque or a little bit blunt. But that's the one thing about the Page of Wands and actually any mutable sign. Most of the time, even if you say something that's a little off the cuff, most of the time people around you are pretty forgiving because they can see that it's just your nature. You're stoked up, right? But that's what I'm kind of getting. You might be kind of shooting off emails, but I'm actually getting more of a physical vibe with this. It could quite possibly be that you're engaging with people. Maybe you have to deliver short, to the point messages. It might be verbally, or I am kind of getting in person, which is kind of strange given, I mean, I don't know, maybe you're in a part of the world, or this could be family where, you're not social distancing. But I'm kind of getting that. I'm getting that, did you do this? Millions of times. Yeah, I did that. It's kind of like that. And you don't mean any harm. It's just, it's just, kind of the you've got so much energy underneath you that you might be coming across a little bit, a little bit, shoulder checking people, but nobody takes it personally. But the other thing that I get in this kind of energy, though, the other thing is when I have a fire under me to get something done, if someone comes up to me, when I'm in the middle, when I've got, when I'm taking action on something, if someone comes up and is like, hey, can where's, where's the coffee? It's, and you know how you kind of wave at them to go away, like, cupboard, right side, cupboard, right side. It's almost like that. It's kind of like, yeah, go away. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. I just think that you're going to be really stoked. Now, the middle of the week is really interesting as you got the Four of Wands. And gosh, guys, first off, you got this deck has a diamond at the top, and you see it almost looks kind of like, it looks like four wands that are overlapping. I think the middle of the week, I'm getting a real stability vibe from this. Now, the Four of Wands is usually it's the sign of an achievement, right? It's a sign of achievement. The other thing that I kind of get from that is that you're in a steady place. It's almost like as you progress, you start with the Ace, you go to the 2, you go to the 3. And by the time you get to the 4, you have 4 cornerstones. It's like if you've ever created a stick house, once you have the 4 sticks, it's almost like the bridge, the trellis of something. I think in the middle of the week you're going to have something worth celebrating, and it's almost like this thing that you're getting excited about. Because the other thing is, you see he's looking over at it, right? He's looking over at it. So this could quite honestly be some kind of, again, this is all fires, guys, so this is really a lot of action. You're taking some kind of action. Beginning of the week, you've got, and this is the other thing is that the pages, the knave is the beginning energy. It's the beginning energy. So it's almost like you're starting off. You're kind of you're beginning, but I just keep getting drawn to these flames around him. Those flames around him. It's like I'm getting smolder. The other thing is, you look at his face and he's got that smoldering expression. You got your eyes on something. And it's almost like I do get a sense like you've got your eyes on something, and anything that gets in your way, you might get kind of blunt. You might get blunt with your words. But the middle of the week, I do get a sense that you're going to have that stability. Whatever it is that you started, you're going to have like some kind of an accomplishment with those actions. The other thing that I can kind of see is that if this is kind of a work thing, maybe you have a lot on your plate and you just kind of knock it out. But beginning of the week, you're starting, like you're just now starting off, and then by the middle of the week, you're actually at a good plateau. Because the other thing is the Four of Wands is it's a threshold. It's a milestone. But I definitely see that you're achieving something here. You're achieving something there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make this vague. It's just, it can have a lot of interpretations. The other thing is that the Four of Wands can be a little bit of a mirroring card. So this could be you mirroring someone else. But there is a ton of fire in this chart, guys. But I definitely see that page looking at that accomplishment, looking at that milestone, like, you know, and that milestone is happening. It's happening. The other thing is the diamond, right? The diamond is there. By the end of the week, you've got some crazy strong energy. First off, you got one major arcana in this spread, and so you got the Magician, and you got the King of Wands. You got the King of Wands. So one thing that I'm kind of seeing here, guys, is that quite honestly, in the beginning of the week, you might start off a page and then you might graduate or be crowned a king by the end of the week. There might be some kind of accomplishment going on, guys. Maybe there's something you've been working on this whole time and you finally get the recognition for it. And this time of year, that is kind of happening too, you know, because, you know, as we've come through the summer, you know, maybe you are getting recognized at work, or maybe you finally got that promotion that you've been working really hard for. The other way that I read it is it could just potentially be that, you know, you had a goal in mind and you started off smoldering and you accomplished it, or at least got to a good midpoint, and then by the end of the week it's all, you know, you've graduated from the page to the king, right? But the end of the week is really powerful, guys. This really does look like the same person with the goatee and the hair. You know, it's like, I really get the sense that you're just going to keep on going. You're going to keep on going. Whatever it is that you started in the middle of the week, you're going to meet with a good midpoint, or a good graduation kind of celebration point. Like either that, or you're going to take a break and celebrate how far you've come. I am kind of hearing some recognition with this. It's almost like you're going to get congratulated for something. Maybe you accomplished something and you're going to be, you know, congratulated for it. The other thing is that when you look at the collars of these people, you know, the other thing is that the root of the Magician energy is the King of Wands. I get a strong sense that you're on fire with whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing. The other thing that I'm getting is that I'm almost getting like you're starting to do something and you're dead determined, like you will do this, right? But the thing is, you're almost starting off a little bit rough and tumble, right? You know your goals, but you're not real polished. You're not going to be real polished. Almost like the diamond in the rough. You're not going to be real polished as you go after them. So I am getting that strong sense of maybe you're being a little bit blunt in the beginning of the week. You might be running a little roughshod. The other thing that I get with this energy is sometimes it's a little slapdash. You know what I mean? Like maybe you have something that you need to do, and as long as it gets done, it doesn't have to be polished and pretty. As long as you knock it out. That's almost what I'm kind of getting. And then by the end of the week, I see that it's almost like you're graduating into a more mature energy. You're graduating into a more mature energy, and so you are, whatever you started is going to be more of a mature masculine. You're not going to be, you won't be as blunt, things won't be as, okay, knock it out. You're going to take care of it in a more polished, kind of mature way. But I definitely see that you have, the other thing that you see is that all three of these characters are carrying wands, right? The Magician is holding the wand. And I'm getting a strong masculine with this. But by the end of the week, your aspirations are really high. Like, the other thing that I'm kind of getting with this is that I do get the sense that you're going to have an inner sense of drive and an inner sense of that no one can vanquish you, right? You know that you are manifesting. Uh, you're using your drive, your charisma, your energy, your fire. You're using your fire to create whatever it is that you want. One other way that I can kind of read this is that maybe at the end of the week, if you are spearheading some kind of project, maybe it started off a little rough, and then by the middle of the week it really got its footing. Like, maybe you started off on a new project and you had to kind of work out. You know how it's sometimes trial and error, kind of, fleshing out the policies or the procedures to something, and then by the middle of the week you actually get, four cornerstones. It's working, it's gelling, it's coming together. And then by the end of the week you just feel like you can do anything, right? You feel like the king, right? And you feel like the king, and you feel like the king who's manifesting more. One last way that I can kind of read it is that if this is some type of graduation card, what it is now, you've been crowned. You've been crowned, and now you're looking forward to the next step. Because the other thing about all this fire is that fire folks are the social climbers, and not even just socially, they're the career climbers. So, you could have started off real, novice, really run through, what you needed to do, and then your aspiration is to, okay, what's next? Okay, what's the next, what's the next level? Let me level up. But I'm seeing a lot of leveling up here. The only thing is that this is a lot of hot, fiery energy. And even the King of Wands, the King of Wands is very charismatic. He is a warm king. But the other thing that I get from that is that sometimes they just like the knave, just like the page, he can still be he can show his rough side a little bit, he can still be a little brusque. He can still be, he's usually very mature about it. He doesn't say the wrong thing often. But the other thing that you get from this spread is this is a lot of confidence. This is a lot of confidence. And actually right underneath the magician, it's almost like, well, I can do anything. I can do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And that's how you're going to feel by the end of the week. One last way to read it as well is that if this is your energy in the beginning of the week, you might still be in page energy at the end of the week, but you might have a mentor. Like, this could be a father, or it can be a boss who might be helping you manifest the goals that you want. Or quite honestly, maybe you did, you started off a little bit rough, but then you did get things settled, you got things stable, and then by the end of the week, you get called into the boss's office, and they're like, good job on that, you took care of what you needed to, where do you want to go from here? And it's giving you that sense of power. Somebody is helping you to feel powerful. But your oracle card really plays into this, is that you got answering the call, and it says the time is now. And what I notice is the door is opening for her, and beyond it is a stag, right? And a stag is a very king-like energy, right? It looks like a crown, right? It looks like a crown. So one thing that this is kind of, just to put this into context, maybe you've been waiting for the green light to do something, right? Either that, or maybe you've been afraid that you're too novice at someone. Maybe, at something. Maybe you feel like, okay, I can't do this. I don't know enough. But instead of questioning yourself, you're like, okay, let's do this. Let me just go ahead and see, and again, you're not going to be perfect at it out of the starting gate, but by the middle of the week, you're really making strides. You're at the 4, right? It's like going from the 1 to the 4. It's not the 10, but that's pretty far along for 1 week, right? And I definitely get a sense that whatever you're putting this energy towards, you're going to be manifesting a lot, right? The time is now. The time is now. It's something about taking action. The other thing is that the magician has all of the elements in front of him. You know, there's nothing holding him back. He's got the wand, he's got the cup, he's got the pentacle, he's got the sword. You know, all he has to do is make it, you know, use the resources, right? But wow, guys, that's a really powerful week. That's really powerful. And honestly, there's no bad cards in that. So, you know, sometimes with that much fire, you could run the risk of burning out, but that doesn't look like that to me. That just looks like, you know, kind of internal flame, you know, you're going to be, you know, really, you know, blazing through the week. All right, guys, last but not least, our favorite little agate cat. She's such a cutie. And the Witch's Tarot. So let's go ahead and see. What is your energy like for the next 7 days? Gonna be a good week. Gonna be a good week. So what's the energy? All right. Okay, please clarify. Okay, middle of the week, please. Okay, end of the week. Oh, that's good energy. All right, let's go ahead and get your oracle card. I'm just going to do a very quick shuffle. These are well shuffled. We'll mix it up just a little bit more. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting, guys. See? Oh, I'm so glad I got these cards. If you missed the intro, I was really drawn to pull out the Sacred Traveler's card. I haven't used these in a while. I used it for myself not too long ago, but I was really drawn to pull these out, and I'm so glad I did, because when I go with my gut instinct, we get really good energy. But okay, so beginning of the week. First off, we've got now, okay, so there are no bad cards in tarot, so this is nothing to be stressed about, and I definitely wanted to go for a clarifier. But also, the Magician kind of wanted to pop out. But the top card, you got the 5 of Swords. And to clarify it, you got the 4 of Pentacles. So definitely, what is interesting, and I always take the artwork into consideration, is that you see what looks like kind of like a butterfly, right? Or it could be a moth, but it looks like a butterfly. And you see the 4 swords are like pointed at him, right? Like about to annihilate him, right? And then you've got these little fairies around them, right? And what's happening is, beginning of the week, with the swords being mental energy, it's one of two things. You either are really afraid that you're going to be defeated, like that someone is either going to verbally humiliate you, or that something's going to happen to defeat you. And either that, or you might have people around you that you feel are trying to tear you down, right? Because the butterfly is about transformation. It's really a little bit of it's seen a lot in the death card, right? And this isn't scary energy. This isn't anything bad. Actually, in the context, it's actually not, it's kind of real world. What I'm seeing is this being a real world kind of scenario. But what you see here is that you see this butterfly, which is really the symbol of transformation and change. The one thing that I'm kind of thinking is that when a caterpillar first becomes a butterfly, when they go into the cocoon, they completely liquidate themselves. Like you've heard the term butterfly soup. The caterpillar uses every ounce of their energy, and they use every chromosome of their existing body. Like everything that was in their body as a caterpillar is utilized to become the butterfly, right? And it's an exhausting process. When they finally emerge from the cocoon, they're exhausted. It is like having a little death because, and they're honestly the one living thing, one insect that I know of that actually change from one form to another in the same life cycle, right? So it is like they're not the same thing anymore. So the vibe that I'm getting here is I get the sense that you feel like you are the you're the butterfly, right? And you see how there's clouds at the bottom and there's a clear sky above. It's almost like you just emerged from the cocoon, right? And you're exhausted, right? You're trying to get to a better place. You're trying to fly. You're trying to get away from the clouds. You're trying to get up to the clear sky. But there's other little pesky pain in the ass things with wings that want to throw daggers at you, right? So you feel like you're at a disadvantage. You feel debilitated, right? You're already kind of struggling. You're just trying to make it, but it's almost like you don't stand a chance, right? You don't stand a chance. You've got all this opposition. And those opposition is like swords. And the other thing is, no matter which way you fly, you're gonna fly into the point of a dagger, right? And you see it's right close to the antennae, right? You know, you feel like anywhere you go, and then it kind of looks like a bunch of bullies, right? A bunch of bullies that are ready to take you out. Now, the one thing is with swords, that could be verbal, right? It doesn't have to be a physical knockdown, drag out. It can be maybe you're afraid of someone defeating your reputation, you know? Maybe you're afraid of someone talking bad about you. Maybe someone's bullying you online or something like that. But what I see here is that with that energy, you know, with that defeat, you know, one person is defeated and somebody else wins, right? Underneath it, you've got the Four of Pentacles. So what I'm kind of seeing here, and you see a really elaborate door, and the guy sitting on the front porch, pinning down his pentacles. What I'm kind of seeing here is that I just really get this sense like you feel like you're fighting a losing fight. At the beginning of the week, you're going to feel a little bit outnumbered, right? You're going to feel a little bit outnumbered. The other thing that I do kind of get from this is that maybe you do feel like, I am kind of getting the sense like you feel like, this is a crazy thing. But with all these swords and all these people, you know, all these sprites, you know, it looks like this poor butterfly is about to get mugged, right? That's what I'm getting from this. I feel like, you know, but this is just your energy. It's not saying that this is going to happen to you. Absolutely not. It just means that you feel that way, right? And it makes you want to, you know, it's almost like, look at this, you know, like, okay, buddy, okay, butterfly, give us the wallet. And you're like, come and get it, you know, come and get it. It's like that feeling, it's almost like you feel like you're going to be defeated anyway, but you're trying to stand your ground. You're trying to, I do just get the sense like you feel like, you know, people are, you're holding out against, defeat, right? Even though the defeat might be inevitable, you're holding out against it. The other thing that I kind of get from this energy is that it almost seems like it does, if you feel like you're just trying to fly up into the sky. You're doing your own thing. These other people are trying. The one thing about the Five of Swords is it's like it's complete it's kind of that kind of victory that the other person didn't stand a chance, right? There's winners and losers, right? And it's unfair, right? It's unfair. And maybe that's what I'm getting, because it does, this expression on the guy's face is like, I don't want to have to give this over to you. It's not fair. These are my coins, right? And the same thing with the butterfly. It's like, look, dude, I'm just minding my own business, trying to get to a better place, you know? So, but I definitely get a sense with it being swords, it's either someone berating you kind of verbally. Maybe people are asking you for money, or maybe people are just also, the other thing I can get is that maybe people are just attacking your character. And and your stance is, if you're gonna attack my character anyway, then fine, say what you want about me. I'm just gonna hold out, right? I'm gonna hold on. But I am definitely getting a financial element. I'm getting a sense like, I get a sense, I'm just getting kind of a sense like you're just trying to work hard and do your own thing, but people are trying to take from you. And the way that people are trying to take from you is almost through some kind of verbal extortion. I don't know where that word's coming from, but it feels that way to you. It feels like verbal extortion. Either that, or the other thing about pentacles, or pentacles are what you value, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be money. Maybe you do feel like you feel like somebody is taking you out at the knees, and all you can do is hold on to what you value, right? All you can do is hold out. All you can do is, kind of, squat down and pin down what you can, right? You're holding down what values you can, right? You're holding down, and all you can do is try to find a way around it, right? Even though you're probably still going to be taken out. That seems kind of inevitable. But whatever energy that the beautiful, one of the good things, and again, there are no bad cards in tarot. One of the good things about the Four of Pentacles is that is a tenacity, right? That's a steadfastness. So if it is you holding on to what you value, that can be your own sense of self-worth as well. So even though someone might take some verbal chunks out of you, you're gonna hold strong, right? If somebody's taking money from you, you're still going to squirrel away what you need. They might damage your reputation. The other thing about the Five of Swords, and actually we're going to be coming up on it in a few weeks, about 3 weeks from now, we're going to be How to Taroting on that. That's going to be an interesting one. But one of the points that we bring up in the Five of Swords, How to Tarot, is that it is one of those meanings where the other person, if they're setting out to defeat you, sometimes the defeat is inevitable, but it doesn't make them better than you. They're gonna crow. Just to put it this way, and this is gonna come up in that video too, is just, have you ever heard of the expression, there's no sense playing chess with this, trying to argue with someone who wants to win, is like playing chess with a seagull. The seagull's, pardon my French, the seagull's just going to shit on the board and strut around like he won anyway. It's kind of like that with this energy. You see those little sprites, they're going to flitter around and be like, look, we're pretty, and look at you, you're stabbed. If they're going to be like that, sometimes all you can do is just hold on tight to what you value, what you are. Hold on tight to what you can. Try to weather the storm, because they're gonna flit around like they won anyway, right? But if you are encountering that energy, please take care of yourself too. The one danger with the Four of Pentacles is sometimes it's a little bit of a petrified kind of. It's a compressed energy. And definitely I see someone who's kind of pecked at, when you start getting pecked at all the time, especially verbally, it hardens you. It hardens you. You know what it is that the Four of Pentacles doesn't feel safe, right? Does this guy look like he feels like his what he values is safe? He's got his feet on it. He's sitting on the pentacle, like, take this, I dare you to take this from me. And that's the vibe I'm getting. I dare you to take this from me. You can't take this from me. But, you know, try to give yourself a little bit of a break. If this is family or friends, hopefully not friends, whatever is subjecting you to this defeatist kind of energy, try to take care of yourself, because too much of that really will wear you down, and that's not good for you, because then you'll never, you know, it's making you feel unsafe, and it's making you feel like you have to be in that bunker down energy. Sorry for the long lament on that, guys. I just wanted to explain, because that is some heavy energy for the beginning of your week, and I want you to be, you know, if I want you to be okay. Now, the middle of the week, you got some beautiful energy, guys. You got the Hermit. And can I just note that the colors in the butterfly look so much like your Hermit? Look at that, guys. It's the same colors. So by the middle of the week, if this is a family situation or friends, or just, you know, again, if you're being verbally defeated by someone, middle of the week, you're going to finally say, you know, well, screw this, I'm going up to the mountaintop, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to withdraw. You're going to withdraw. And the beautiful thing about withdrawing is that it really is peaceful. The other thing about this is that the Hermit is Virgo energy. And no, it is not a Virgo moon. I thought it could be a Virgo moon. The sun is in Libra right now. But the Hermit, in the middle of the week, you're going to be definitely pulling away. You know, if you need to retreat, which I think would be good, if you're about to get into this kind of energy, pull away. You know, sometimes that can be just, you know, as simple as, you know, going off the grid. You know, if you've been on social media, the other thing is that this, you know, the swords can be a lot of social media, you know, trolling. If you really feel like you've been battling some losing battles, I'd go ahead and get off the grid and just be in your own head. Be in your own head. The other thing about the, you know, the Hermit is that when you see it in the spread here, he's looking back on that circumstance and now, you know, thinking about it, right? So you're going to get some peace. You're going to pull away and have some peace to think about what's been going on. Maybe you'll be thinking about your situation. Maybe you'll be thinking about, okay, how did I get into that situation? You know, were they right? Was I right? You know, maybe it was 50-50. But you're going to be looking back on what was said, how it was handled, all of that. And you're going to be deciding, you know, you're going to be getting your facts together, because the thing about the Hermit is he doesn't take any action. He just looks back at the situation and does some soul searching, right? And that's where the lantern comes into play, is that it's almost like he finds clarity, you know, by kind of going up to the mountaintop, almost like a pilgrimage, right? So, and that's a major arcana. So this is really, these events, what you're experiencing is gonna propel you into the Hermit's energy, and it's almost like it's meant to happen. Not in a bad way. You're not cursed. This isn't bad luck or anything like that. But you know how it is, the dynamics in our life, the relationships in our life, the experiences of our life. They really do teach us some deep lessons. So if you are kind of having that rough start to the week, middle of the week, it's going to be like, okay, turn the phone off. You know, if someone's really hounding you, you can, you know, temporarily block them, and just go ahead and pull into yourself to get your own thoughts straight and kind of decide what you're feeling, right? The other thing is, you know, I think you might need that separation, because if this is a lot of talk from other people, sometimes you need that separation to make sure that their opinions are not your opinions, right? And sometimes those lines can get blurred when you're in the thick of a situation like that. Now, end of the week, this is really wonderful energy, guys, because remember, beginning of the week, you felt, you looked so threatened, and you were really holding on to your pentacles, right? End of the week, you got the Ace of Pentacles. So one other interpretation, just to throw it out there, this might be some financial stuff. Maybe you did have something that was owed, and you were really reluctant. You didn't want to have to give all your money or hand over all your money. But maybe you were just the other thing I get from this is maybe you were starting to get into a good financial place, and then something came along and just said, here, you got to pay this, and you're like, I just got out of the cocoon. I was just getting started. Now again, remember we said it felt like mugging, right? Now you're going to mug me, That's what it kind of felt like. And then by the middle of the week, you're almost like, okay, well, all I've got is the robes on my back now. I got to start over. But the end of the week is such beautiful energy, guys, because you got the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like whatever setback you went through, you really reflected on it, and by the end of the week, you'll get to start again. And it's going to be a really beautiful new start. And maybe it can be a start that is, without all of whomever or whatever was costing you at the beginning of the week, right? So I do get this strong sense of you kind of starting again, or there being a financial opportunity to start again. And the Pentacle is the other thing I'm getting is a windfall. That's another meaning, is that maybe you did have some kind of, you took some kind of hit, that really, again, took you out at the knees. Middle of the week, you're kind of reflecting on it, the other beautiful thing about this, guys, is that I do not feel any self-pity from this, which is really good, because I know that's hard. I've definitely been there. I've had it where I remember one time I had, this was years ago, I had gotten a commission from work, or I had gotten some kind of extra pay, and I was like, yay, I can eat well, I can go out to dinner. And then, then I had it turned out my car needed like this, almost the exact same amount of work. And it's like, okay, hand me the check. Okay, hand it right over to someone else. And you feel mugged, right? You feel like, great, well, you got everything taken care of. But it's almost like you're going to be looking back on it, reflecting on it from a very, good, and having that mental standpoint will make you stronger as you go forward. That's the other thing that I'm getting. And by the weekend, you might get some kind of lucky windfall. There might be, maybe there was something you had to pay at the beginning of the week, and then by the end of the week, you get maybe again, maybe you work some overtime and that paycheck came in, and you're going to feel better. That's the thing that I'm getting, is you're going to feel better. You know what I'm hearing? If you've ever seen the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Gene Wilder, because that one's the best. I love that one. I'm sorry. No, this is no shade to Johnny Depp, but I love the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I just remember, remember when Charlie buys the first candy bar, like his uncle saves up, and his grandpa Joe gives him all the money, and he goes and he didn't find a golden ticket. And I keep hearing the song Cheer Up Charlie, but the song that his mom sings to him, Cheer Up Charlie, everything's going to be okay. It's kind of like that energy, Charlie is not a spoiled kid. He's not a brat. He reflects, right? And then guess what happened? After that, he found a coin in the street. He found a golden coin in the grate, and he went and he bought a chocolate bar, and it had the golden ticket. So that's almost what I'm kind of feeling, guys. I do think that it's going to be a little bit of a punchy beginning, but I think the universe is going to turn around, and if you do have that honest reflection in the middle of the week, you're not going to lose. You won't lose at all. Then this is really beautiful, guys. You got your traveler cards. You got fellow travelers, and it says support is all around you. And you know what is amazing, guys? Look at this. First off, okay, look at kind of the green and the golds. And then the other thing is, look at they're both standing on mountaintops. They're both standing on mountaintops, and he's going to keep on trekking, right? And he'll find a rainbow. I really get the feeling like your rainbow is, again, I'm hearing the song Cheer Up Charlie. I'm sorry, it's a vintage movie, but you gotta, if you are as you go through the middle of the week, if you start feeling blue, you could probably look it up here on YouTube. I'm sure there's just the video of just the song. But when his mom is singing "Cheer Up, Charlie," listen to that song if you're feeling low. But I do think by the end of the week you're going to have some kind of windfall. You're going to find that you're going to find that coin in the grate in the street, and you're going to feel it's almost going to make everything better. It's going to be a new start. It's not going to be any of this old crappy energy. It's going to be like new cornerstone. And the other thing that it's also saying is that support is all around you. That could be financial support. So this could be someone helping you out. Or it could be a mental or emotional support. So if you, again, I'm getting a strong sense of you having your own thoughts independent of whatever's being said about you. And if you ever start to question that, like if you ever feel like you're struggling to hold on to what you value or what you think about yourself, please reach out to someone that you trust, right? Call your sibling or call your mom or call, but I do get a sense that it wants to let you know that you're not alone. Yes, there's a lot of you learn so much from introspection, from being solitary, but you shouldn't struggle in that. And definitely if you're feeling kind of defeated, please don't suffer in those emotions alone. Things will get better. And the other thing is, I do think that I really get a strong sense like your guides, God or your angels is looking out for you. They're not going to let you suffer. But wow, guys, that was really powerful. And again, I knew it. I knew I needed to pull out those cards. I'm so glad that I did. So I love that deck. It's always very positive. But, all right. And is my microphone? Yes, I've been checking my microphone. It is still on. So guys, I thank you so much for joining me. I think all three piles were really good. There are no bad cards in tarot. I think you're going to have a wonderful week. I did just want to say that this next upcoming week is October 1st is the 1-year anniversary of my channel. And I can't believe that it's already here. It's been really an amazing year. We've grown. It's been such steady, organic growth. I am so grateful for every single one of my followers. Thank you for your support and your subscription to my channel. That really means the world to me. And just sharing your energy, it's always a pleasure to read your cards. I am going to try to do a special reading on the day. I think I might do messages from your person again, because that went over real well. Everyone seemed to enjoy that. And this time I think I'll try to do, several piles and use new cards, and we'll do something real special to celebrate the day. Also, later on next week, I am going to be taking a slight break for my birthday. I am going to have all the videos for that week, filmed and ready to post as normal. But there might be an additional video post where it's a little bit of a documentary where I'll be filming some footage to show about I'm having my tarot table refinished. And this table was actually created by my great-grandfather, so it has a lot of energy to it. And if you care to follow along, I'll be putting videos on both Instagram and here on my channel, where you can join me in my journey of preserving the table that we use for our reads. But other than that, I do hope that you can join me again on Tuesday. We're going to be doing another How to Tarot. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.